Before the weekly analysis begins, I just want to let you know that I do have a Patreon page. We have two tiers available. The first tier is called Start Off for £15 a month, and what you will receive is access to a Discord server containing the beginners, intermediate, and advanced course, risk management course for Elliot Wave trading, as well as financial literacy content. This tier is also for those who want to learn at their own pace and generally just support what I do and just join a community of like-minded traders. The second tier that I have is called the Waveologist for £35 a month, and what you receive is everything that I mentioned above with the addition of specific chart requests for me to annotate on a daily and weekly time frame, and one-to-one support or group sessions depending on how many people have subscribed to this tier. The group or one-to-one sessions are for those people who want a little bit of extra help with their Elliot Wave education, and also give the opportunity to ask me as many questions. Please do keep in mind that these are going to be 1 hour sessions depending on how many people have subscribed, and also I would say please do consider joining. It is really good value for money, and without further ado, let's get into the analysis. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is going to be my Elliot Wave count for pound yen, pound dollar, and gold. But first of all, any views or opinions or suggestions that I expressed in this video do not constitute to trading or financial advice. So let's get started here on pound yen and my annotations. Obviously, from previous videos, I've mentioned that we're going to get this sort of to be a sort of three-wave corrective structure to come in eventually, and what we're going to essentially see is the market sort of push towards the upside, and we did eventually get that. However, just by looking at this market, I mean, I was under the sort of assumption that we would eventually get this to be a sort of wave 4 as like an expanded flat or running flat. So maybe like one more push down here before we then get that sort of fifth and final leg to the upside. However, there's also another scenario that I had in mind, which was this one here, where this was a WXY into a wave 4, and this sort of movement that we have now that's in play is actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulse move to the upside to give us our fifth and final leg. And it does make a little bit of more sense, especially with the overall count in terms of the higher time frame. So let's just sort of count it, the sort of subdivisions. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into a leading diagonal. That gives us our wave 1. And then we have a WXY, or not a WXY, but an A, B, and a C into a wave 2. And then we have this 1, 2, 3, and we are currently in this sort of fourth wave here. And then we'll get one more fifth wave to give us our wave 3, followed then by a correction to a wave 4, and then our last push to the upside into a wave 5. I think this won't make count makes much more sense. We are extremely brave. We have eventually taken out these highs. At the same time, on the sort of higher time frames, there is like some sort of wick rejection coming in, so we could eventually just shoot down. Keeping in mind that this sort of fourth wave correction that I said as previous videos, where this could be a 3, 3, and then a 5 into a running flat on an expanding flat, can still be valid. This is just another sort of scenario that I had in mind, where we have a 1, 2, a 5 wave impulse and moving to a 3, which is basically to still play out, and then a 4, then a 5. Now, if the market eventually pushes up way beyond this high right here, which is the third wave, and we start to see the market eventually just push, and eventually sort of it doesn't sort of have any room to retest during that push, then I'm just going to assume that this is going to be a break, and then we've created essentially a new high. And once there's a new high, we get another low, and then the eventual high is going to be completed as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would give so. In terms of, that's obviously the long-term sort of outlook on things. Let's go on the short-term time frame, so that 1 hour time frame. I'm assuming that we are currently in the wave 4 of wave 3. Okay, we have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3 here, and we are currently in this sort of wave 4. This wave 4 obviously could, this could be obviously a 1, 2, or A, B, and a C. So we have a A, B, C, maybe into a W, and then I have another, sorry, an A, B, C into an A, sorry, an A, B, C into a B, and then we get one more push down into a running flat or a regular expanding flat, and that will give us our wave 4, and then we will then eventually continue to push into the upside. With that in mind, keeping in mind that the higher time frame, especially the daily time frame, is to the upside. So I don't want to be in a sell as of now. It is very, very risky. There isn't no confirmation from what I can see that we're going to start to just give a huge sort of downside or a huge U-turn to the downside. We just need to play it and wait it out. At the moment, I would say that with this pair, we are currently in this sort of sideways movement here. And just want to wait for this to sort of finish and maybe expect one more push up following the overall trend to the upside. So that's pound dollar. I mean, sorry, pound yen. Here is pound dollar. Um, so we have a nice clear, obviously, structure right here. Let's just go on a 4-hour time frame. Just bear with me. There we go. So obviously on a 4-hour time frame we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 which has been completed, and we've had this sort of push which I said it was going to happen in my previous video, that we've come down, especially on my short. And so when we count the sort of subdivisions in terms of the sort of lower time frame, the hourly time frame, we have a nice 1, 2, 3. This is a wave 4, and then we have a nice wave 5 here, which gives us our wave A. Now this could be a wave A. Additionally, this could also be considered as a wave 1. Okay, so this is a wave A or a wave 1. I'm going to assume that it's a wave A because of the impulsive move that we've had since the start. I think it was, what is it, 2022, end of 2022, roughly towards the end of 2022, and obviously into the new year of 2023. We've been extremely sort of bullish, coming towards the upside. So I mean, I've counted this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after an impulsive move, there's usually a corrective wave. So I'm just going to assume that we are in an A, B, and a C, and that will be essentially a three-wave correction to the downside. Now, just because we get A, B, C, A, B, C right here doesn't necessarily mean, we're just going to see the move push to the upside. I can also say that we might get another three waves back in terms of the higher time frame wave count, as we get one more push down to the downside, and then we get that move to the upside. What I'm looking for, especially after the impulsive move, is a roughly around 50 to 61.8% retracement before we then continue in this entire huge bullish cycle to the upside with this pair. In terms of short term, so this is obviously the long term thing. We're going to get a correction to the downside. In terms of short term, in terms of like the hourly time frame and stuff like that, we've obviously finished a 5-wave count here, and we are going to expect this sort of to move up, maybe give a deeper correction and move up again, and that'll complete our B wave. And then once 50 to 61.8% of this entire wave has been reached, we could then look to see to sell this market to the downside. Ideally, we want to be following the overall trend, and to obviously the overall trend in terms of the on the daily time frame, we are extremely bullish. However, I am looking at the sort of my EMAs, the 8 and 21 EMA that I use on the daily time frame. And we can see that the red has just gone slightly below the blue. So it could be a possible change in direction, and we could essentially start to see the market push to the upside. Now, since it has just sort of changed, I'm not expecting this to be a bullish market completely as of yet. I mean, my Elliot Wave Count is obviously saying something different, to the sense where we're getting this to be a three-wave correction first to the upside before we then see that sort of push to the downside and follow the EMAs, or the overall trend which the daily has said to us that it's kind of to the downside, or it has just turned bearish. So don't just look to sell it anytime soon. Wait for a nice sort of pullback to come in, and after price action confirmation, I'll probably look to sell it following the overall trend. So let's go into gold. Here it is, and we have simply a wave 1 here, wave 2 in impulse, and then we've completed our wave 1 of our wave 3 impulse move. So we essentially got a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and a wave 5. Okay, and what we're simply getting now is a WXY into an A. We then get another A, B, and a C, or another WXY into a B, and then we get another C wave towards the downside. Now this could be considered as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this could still be considered as a wave A. We might get one more push to the downside eventually. And what we're essentially going to expect is the market to just continue pushing to the downside to eventually give us our wave 2. So this could be, instead of this being an A, B, C into a W, this could be a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and then a wave 5. Then we'll get a deeper correction here in a 3 wave, and then we'll continue down again for one more push to downside as a C wave, and that would essentially give us a leading diagonal followed by a 3 wave correction and then another 5 wave impulse or another ending diagonal, and that will essentially give us a zigzag A, B, C. Okay, and that will complete our wave 2. And after price action confirmation, when it has reached around 50 to 61.8% level retracement of this entire wave, we can then start to see the market after price action confirmation give us sort of bullish vibes. Um, in terms of short term, we are in a correction, but in terms of overall picture of things, this is going to be a short term correction to continue to go into the upside and essentially continue this extremely bullish cycle. I hope you guys like my video. Please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. I do have a Patreon for all those people that are interested in mentorship. The link will be in the description down below. And see you guys until the next one. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.